In part one, we talked about how a young squirrel dog can lose focus at the tree and how to walk them back through the basics to refocus them. But we never actually talked about what that looks like in real time in the woods. In this video, we're going to talk about exactly what it looks like when your dog loses focus, what the body language really means, and how to correctly handle it on the spot. Stick around, because this is the part most guys miss.
All right, two important points before we start. Do not expect your squirrel dog to treat like a coon dog. Coon hunting and squirrel hunting are completely different. Squirrels are a lot more mobile. Your dog has to be a lot more mobile to hunt them. I'm much more concerned with a dog sticking with a squirrel than I am with a dog sticking with a certain tree. The timing of praise, correction, or an attention diversion is critical. Dogs live in the moment, they live in the here and now. Whenever you're wanting to tell a dog good job, or you're wanting to say no, or you're wanting to refocus it over here, get its attention, you need to time that right with the moment that the dog is doing what you want it to do or you don't want it to do. You've got a few seconds either way. Let it get too far beyond that, and your dog may not be associating what you're telling it with what it's doing. So we're out hunting. Our dog has started barking. Our dog has struck a track, and we catch up with our dog. What's telling us that our dog is doing good, and our dog is working a track, or our dog is abandoning a track? Body language. A focused dog hammered down on a tree that's got a squirrel figured out. We've all seen that. We all know what that looks like. Where things start getting gray is whenever your dog starts making moves around that. Maybe your dog leaves the tree a little bit. Maybe your dog is running a circle 10 or 15 yards around the tree, rechecking other trees. Maybe it's running other logs. As a new handler and a new dog, is that dog abandoning the tree? Probably not. And here's where body language is going to help us figure that out. We've all seen a squirrel run to a tree, so we all kind of have an idea of what they do. Okay, when a dog has a squirrel figured out and pegged to a certain area around a tree, you can expect that that squirrel is going to be in the vicinity of, I would say, out to 30 yards or so. So when a dog is young and it's learning, it's just like us and it needs repetition and things to get a firm grasp to build confidence. So maybe your dog's locked on the tree, but it just wants to be sure. It just wants to make sure that it's got it figured out. So it may start circling the tree a little bit. It may start running and smelling logs and may start reworking the track. So long as your dog's focus is 100% on that track, your dog's doing good. Your dog's just saying, "Hey, I think I've got this figured out. I need to figure this out just a little bit more. I want to make sure." That's a good thing. We want to encourage that. We want to, good boy, good boy. Time that praise like I talked about earlier. The timing is important to let that dog know that we like what it's doing. In this time, it's important to also have patience. We need to have the patience to let the dog work out what it needs to work out. That's the only way it's going to grow. So I let these tracks go as long as they need to go. As long as the dog's working it, I'm going to let him keep working it, because even if it might not look like it to us, that dog is learning. So where we can start running into problems during this process is when the dog's attention starts to drift from the track. And that's where body language is going to be our friend. As long as our dog is running the track, we're okay. We're happy. But during this time, we need to really pay attention to our dog, and we need to catch those split seconds that tip us off that our dog is about to lose focus, so we can be ahead of the game, be ready for it, and redirect our dog back to what we want it to do. So what does this look like? Well, if I'm watching a dog that's running a track, and I've been watching my dog run this track for 30 seconds or so around this tree, I got a good idea of the general area this squirrel has run. Now, all of a sudden, if my dog's head's picked up and it just looks a certain opposite direction, nowhere near the vicinity that the sign has told us that the squirrel that he's running has done anything like that, that's a distraction. And that's the moment we instantly want to jump in and get your dog's focus again. Patch, get his face. Now we just took that direction from him. We took that distraction away from him when he was about a level 1. Instead of waiting till he bolts after whatever that is on a level 7 or 8. It's way easier to shut it down whenever it first starts. It's also important to watch how far out your dog is circling and rechecking its track. You got a good idea of how far the squirrel can go. And if those circles are getting bigger and bigger, they're getting careless, it's starting to turn into a straight line, that's a sign that your dog might be getting bored and he might be thinking about splitting. And when you start noticing that, again, that's whenever we want to step in before the bolt happens, before he's allowed to carry that bad behavior forward and get away with it. That's when we want to try to step in and refocus our dog back to the track that he's supposed to be running. It's also really important to keep in mind that a lot of these tracks are going to end in failure. That is okay. It takes a lot of trees to make a squirrel dog. Just because your dog doesn't figure one out doesn't mean you have a bad dog. How you choose to handle failure can really help your dog out succeed long term. And what do I mean by that? There's going to be days that your dog just doesn't have it. And if you get out of the truck and your dog's running around like a spastic idiot, it's best to just not even go out that day. Put him right back in the truck, go home. We can start again another day. But let's say you go out there and your dog just gets its butt kicked by a squirrel, which is going to happen a lot. Still happens with my finished dogs. It's just part of hunting, right? It's not killing. How you handle that can really help prevent a lot of unwanted behavior from your dog in the future. So let's say your dog sight jumped a squirrel, ran it. Your dog never really put the track together. Okay, it ran around looking for it, smelled for it, whatever the reason was, he just couldn't put the track together. And now he starts scanning again. So what we're seeing is we're seeing that dog lose focus on that track, right? He's quitting that track. He's starting, maybe he's looking around for the squirrel, and we'll give him a little bit of that, right? We'll give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt to do what he's going to do. You saw the squirrel, you know where it is. But again, if he starts looking elsewhere and you can tell his attention's not on that area that squirrel just went through, he's done with that and he's looking for the next thing. We don't want to allow that to go forward. That is the dog ending that track on his terms and deciding to engage in a new track on his own. That is not for the dog to do. It's our job. So in a moment like that, if your dog does get his butt kicked on a track, or he starts to just randomly lose focus, and you can tell the track is over, right? That it's time to move on. Well, let's end that on our terms. Hey, Patch, come on. And now we've redirected the dog's focus from whatever that distraction was. We've called him back to us, right? We've said, good boy. My dog's command to go is, okay, let's go. So he knows when I say that, we're free to go hunt again. And so now his mind is transitioned to, yeah, I'm done with this squirrel. I'm going to go see what that is, to, oh, okay, handler said this is over, and now I get to go get another one. So that dog is hunting from a position of submission to us. He's hunting in accordance with what we want, not with what he wants. It's important to keep in mind that I'm not talking about micromanaging your dog here, okay? When your dog is hunting, he needs to have the freedom to hunt. I trust my dogs in the woods. I let the hunt play out. I just try to be there at the tree as quick as I can. So in those moments that they need our guidance, I'm there to give them that help, right? I firmly believe a dog is either born with it or they're not. They're born with everything they need to turn into a good hunting job. And we're there simply just to kind of help nudge them in the right direction, to let that natural genetics and instinct carry them through so they can turn into what they are. All right, so if you have any questions about anything, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll answer them as best I can. I hope this helped. And if you found this useful, please like and subscribe.